Joining me here today for the first episode of the Wheel Play. I'm your host, Richie Lunt, aka the man of many hats, and I'll be looking at all 30 teams, giving my take on each one. A little bit about me: I'm from Liverpool, UK. I love sports, but no more so than what you would refer to as European soccer, as you may call it, and now baseball, obviously. First things first, as I always forget. If you want to speak to me, give me ideas, or just shoot the proverbial, then add me on Twitter at manofmanyhat5. Or, if you prefer, you can email me at thatmanofmanyhats@gmail.com. So how does the show work? Well, each week I'll be speaking about the division that the wheel picked from the week before, and this being the first episode, I've already spun the wheel, and it came up with the NL West. So I'm going to give a brief overview on what stood out to me about each team, and then I'll rank them based on first to fourth for each category as I see it. The categories are ballpark, former players, current players, farm team, ownership, uniform, and what I'd refer to as miscellaneous or je ne sais quoi. At the end of each week, I'll have a ranking based on a score, but I'll also do a separate ranking just based on how I feel about supporting the team. So the team that gets the highest score might not necessarily be the team that I pick to support from that division. After all 6 episodes, I'll choose an NL team and an AL team to follow for the rest of the season, and we'll see how they get on, compare and contrast, and see if I'm happy to just support 2 teams or if I want to support just the one, or maybe even change. I'm just trying to document my journey, basically. What am I looking for? Well, sorry to be obtuse, but I don't really know. What I do know is I'll know when I see it, when I find it. So with that in mind, on with the show. I'm going to be scoring, as I say, so we can keep track. You can do your own scores as well. I'd love to see where your teams rank, what you think. And I'll also be adding said scores to this spreadsheet that I made earlier. It's nothing great. It's just very basic. I will also have like a less analytical ranking system, as I say, that goes off my heart. So it should be fun. So anyway, on with the show. So, NL West, what do we rate first? So, ballparks. It's tricky. All 4 really good ballparks for 4 different reasons. Obviously, you've got Petco Park, the sightlines there for a new stadium, amazing. Comes very highly recommended by people who've been there. Then you've got Dodger Stadium, which is historic in its own way. You've got that incredible view, especially for night games. And then the same for the Rockies as well, with Coors Field, obviously. And then you've got Oracle Park, which has got the McCovey. I can't even say it now. I'm not even going to try to say it. Yeah, I mean, it's tricky. It's just what you personally prefer. So let's see what comes up. I'm gonna give the Giants the first because there's something about that place that I can't pronounce yet, which I will do by the next episode. I keep going to say McCaskies, but that's obviously the Chicago Bears. Second, I'm going to have to say the Rockies just for the view. It's tough between these two, but I think the Cove just gives the Giants enough of a unique edge. But that view for the Rockies must be insane. And it's got to be Dodger Stadium next. And listen, no offense to Petco at all. It seems like a great stadium, but it's just, you've got to do it. So actually, I've got my rankings wrong. So because you're going to give 4 points because they came first, 1 point, 3 points, and 2 points. That's more like it. Yeah, feel free to agree, disagree, tell me why I'm wrong, tell me why I'm right. That's how I see it. I've done current players first, but I actually want to do former players. Yeah, I'm going to just... Well, I'll do them both at the same time. So obviously, alphabetical order, start with the Dodgers. The ones that I recognise from having watched the baseball documentary by Ken Burns, Roy Campanella, Don Drysdale, Sandy Koufax, obviously, Tommy Lasorda, we know, Pee Wee Reese, Jackie Robinson, obviously. The name Duke Snider rings a bell. Also, Don Sutton. Apologies to any of the other Hall of Famers that I haven't quite got around to finding out about, especially Wee Willie Keeler. What a great name that is. The Giants, they've got, is it Orlando Cepeda? Oh, that's how I pronounce it. Don't know him. Kyle Hobel, Monty Irvin, Travis Jackson, George High Pockets Kelly. What a nickname. Love that. Willie Mays. I know Willie Mays. There's McCovey. There he is. Christy Mathewson. I know him from the documentary. I've heard the name Gaylord Perry before. Another fantastic name. But yeah, and then it gets a lot easier because the Padres have only got 3, which is Tony Gwynn, who I know, great hitter. Trevor Hoffman, I believe he was a closer. And then Dave Winfield, whose name I know, but I think I know him from the Red Sox. Unless I'm getting confused. See, this is the fun. And then Larry Walker from the Rockies, who, I'll be honest, I don't know who that is. So I have to put the Rockies in last place just because they've only got one legend and I don't really know him that well. So we'll go 1 point for the Rockies. In second, in third, second to last, that has to be the Padres. Again, just numbers speak for itself, but also, again, there's only really Tony Gwynn who I would know that well. I know of Hoffman, and I'm pretty sure I've seen him close, but it didn't really make a huge impression on me. So, and then I'd have to go Giants because the Dodgers probably second only to the Yankees for players that I'd know and impact on the game, or at least that would be my guess. Maybe Red Sox I know quite a little bit about. So we'll see how that goes. And then current players, I'm going to go, this is no knock on anyone. I love Julio Urias, but then after that, in the Dodgers, most of the players that I liked, they traded away. Because I like players who step up big in the playoffs and are like underrated role players. So I'm going to put them at 4. I'm going to put the Rockies at, I've done it again. I'm going to give them 1 point. Going to give the Rockies 2 points. And that's because I like Trevor Story, I like Ryan McMahon, and I actually like Tapia as well. I think that ballpark does him no favours from what I've seen. So I think if he gets a trade, we could see his numbers, not his hitting numbers or anything like that, but I think we'll see him be more of an impact player, if you like. Padres and Giants. See, I like both of these teams, but the difference is I like the Padres for Joe Musgrove, local lad, threw a no-hitter, Cronenworth's fun to watch. Tatis Jr.'s fun to watch. Machado's a wind-up merchant. I don't mind that at all. But the thing with the Giants team is I like the whole team. So I'm going to go 4 for them. And I'm going to give 3 to the Padres. Padres, young, up and coming. Yeah. Farm systems, I'm not going to pretend I know much about this. I'm just going to rank them based on what I've seen. So the Rockies, 1 point. The Padres, 2 points. And then there's a bit of a difference of opinion for the Dodgers and the Giants, but just out of respect for what the Dodgers have done, I'm going to give them the full 4 points. I think they've built brilliantly through the draft and also used their farm system excellently. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's just my perception. I think the Giants have probably got a better farm system this year, but that's because the Dodgers bring their players through so quickly. Ownership, again, I'm not really... Like, I looked up who they were. I know that the Rockies really don't like their owner, Charlie Monford. So I'm going to give them 1 point. Poor Rockies, man. Padres... Right, I'm not going to get political here because I don't want to, and it's not my place. So I'm going to say Padres are in second place. I'm going to give the Giants third place. And how can you argue with the way the Dodgers are run at the moment? Uniforms, I'm going to give the Dodgers full points because those white and blue unis are a bit iconic. Personally, probably prefer the Giants, and I like their logo more, but I knew the Dodgers before I knew the Giants over here. And again, after the Yankees and the Red Sox, they're like the Yankees of the West Coast, aren't they, really, when you think about it? Or at least that's what the perspective is over here. Padres and Rockies, really don't like that purple from the Rockies, so again, sorry. Je ne sais quoi. So you could say that from the point of view of the Dodgers, that you should be giving them full points. But I'm not the kind of guy who really is a front runner, or I try not to be. I mean, if I fall in love with the team, I fall in love with the team. But with the Dodgers, I feel like you kind of had to be a Dodgers fan before now to get on board properly, in my opinion. The Rockies, I'll give 2 just out of almost like pity. It's really sad because they've got a lot to like going on at the Rockies, but they just don't seem to know how to form a proper ball club, and I can't rate it. Padres and Giants, I think. No, do you know what? Like, we're giving this. I'm doing this wrong because I'm saying like my opinion. I'm trying to say vision of Chiqua. I'm trying to say like the organization as a whole. So I'm going to give 4 points to the Dodgers. I'm going to give 3 points to the Giants. I'm going to give 2 points to the Padres. I'm going to give 1 point to the Rockies. There you go, done. So this is what we're left with. A tie between the Dodgers and the Giants. I'm sure Dodgers and Giants fans will be made up about that. There's no need for them to have a rivalry that would end up with people abusing me. Padres not far away from the Rockies, and considering I've got a lot more time for the Padres than the Rockies, that surprises me. But yeah, I mean, hopefully you've kind of got what I'm doing here now. So in terms of the NL West, those are the scorings, but what we also have is this. So as you can see, all the teams, and we're going to rank them. So let's just put them in from the first teams that I see. Giants. And who are we missing? Oh yeah, we're missing the Padres. Padres? Oh, SD. I'm going to put the Dodgers last. I kind of hinted at that before because I'm not really big on front running. I'm going to put the Rockies behind them just because God love anyone who's a Rockies fan. I mean, you've got me respect because there's not much to look forward to there. You do have that beautiful ballpark, though. That's something. And as I say, you've got players that I like. You have Trevor Story, for now, probably ends up getting traded at some point, probably at the deadline. McMahon's good, and I personally like Tapia as well. So it's between the Giants and the Padres. This is tricky for me because I like what the Padres are doing. I think they made some sensible moves recently in terms of the new manager, and it's the beginning of their window. I liked when they went out and got Blake Snell and Yu Darvish, and they really went in on it, but it didn't work out. But that's not to say that they did the wrong thing, or I think maybe player development is an issue. So do I go with the exciting, young, athletic team that could challenge the Dodgers this season, probably? Or do I go with the old ragtag thrown together? No one gave them a chance last season. I mean, I do like a story. This is really difficult because San Diego, to my knowledge, haven't won. And I would like to be there when they do. And I probably should have made my decision before I started recording, but where's the fun in that? Do you know what? I like the Giants because of the story that was last year, but you can't live in the past. Can you? I don't know. See, this is why it's so difficult to choose a team, man. I love that Giants team. I want them to do well again, but I don't know whether it was just a one-off or. I don't know if Sandy. No, do you know what? I'm gonna go for it. Just you gotta go with what you feel, and if they don't win, then they don't win. But the fact that I've got the Dodgers last, the fact that they were the highest scoring team, the fact that, well, joint highest with the Dodgers, the fact that there's a proper rivalry, that's another point in their favour. San Diego don't have a real rivalry that I can see of. Dodgers Giants is a great rivalry, and I've been on both sides of it because I was a Dodgers fan for 1 year for a friend of mine who passed away, but that was for him, that wasn't for me. Dodgers fans were great, they were really understanding, but I think the heart wants what it wants, and we're going to go with the Giants. So yeah, so we've come to the end of the show. All that remains is for me to spin the wheel for next week's team, which I'm about to do now. This is the fun wheel that we have. So obviously the team will denote which division we're going to do. If I'm not wrong, that's the AL Central. Obviously a team that doesn't exist anymore because they're now the Cleveland Guardians. But that will be fun. So I'm going to leave it there. If you want to give me your thoughts on the show or the team that I picked or the teams that I didn't or what you dislike, you like, maybe you want to give me a heads up on who I should pick in the AL Central, who you'd pick, why you picked them, all of that. Then it's Twitter at manofmanyhat5, or if you prefer, you can email me at thatmanofmanyhats gmail.com. Other than that, sincere thanks for listening, and I'll hopefully see you for the next show.